On the news tonight, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu arrives Nairobi, Kenya for Africa France Summit 2026. Plus, United Nations Development Programme inaugurates edifice at Nasarawa State University, Kefi. A very good evening and thank you very much for joining us on the news at 7 p.m. on NTA Kefi Star Times Channel 103. I am Mariam Abubakar Kana. President Bola Tinubu has arrived Nairobi for the Africa France Summit 2026. The president, who departed Nigeria for France on Sunday, May 3, landed in the Kenyan capital at about 12:15 this Monday. President Tinubu will join 29 other heads of state and governments scheduled to attend the first edition of the summit holding in an English-speaking country in Africa. Co-chaired by President Emmanuel Macron and President William Ruto, the summit focuses on energy transition, green industrialization, digital transformation, restructuring of global financing architecture, and climate action. The summit, with theme Africa Forward, Africa-France Partnerships for Innovation and High Growth, will provide a high-level platform for African leaders and their French counterparts to deliberate on critical issues affecting the continent, including economic transformation, climate resilience, infrastructure development, youth empowerment, technological advancement, and peace-building initiatives. President Tinubu's participation at the summit is expected to underscore Nigeria's unwavering commitment to strengthening strategic partnerships with African nations and the French Republic. Moving on, based on the Supreme Court recent interpretation of Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, civil servants have the right to belong to political parties, as the court ruled that constitutional rights to freedom of association supersedes public service rules that attempt to prohibit political participation of civil servants. Correspondent Doris Akumoye examines this in view of the ongoing electioneering process for 2027 poll.
With the 2027 electioneering process gathering momentum on daily basis, the issue of civil servants being qualified to participate seems to be hanging, as politically minded civil servants appears to be confused on how to venture fruitfully. This is so as investigation reveals that alignment and party strategies for 2027 already has induced the old question to resurface. Can civil servants carry a party card? Section 40 of the Constitution allows for the right of association. It guarantees every Nigerian the freedom to belong to any political party, trade union, or association for the protection of their interests. This most people are still arguing that the public service rules say otherwise, that define partisan political activity as serious misconduct, an offense that can lead to dismissal from service.
The time is overdue. Why do I say so? We operate a democracy, and if you know the defining principles of democracy, you will know that it's a call for all to participate. So at this point in time, we are just beginning to wake up from the slumber that was been over the decades. Participatory democracy ensures that you vote and you are voted for.
Because there are good leaders within the civil service class. There are, besides, you can also prove that they have been the bedrock of the implementation of government policies.
In the face of strengthening civil servants to exercise the provisions of the law, more enlightenment and sensitization is needed to enable civil servants break the fears and work towards occupying elective positions.
The thing is clear. If you punish me unjustly, if you injure me, I will ask for redress. And the law is there. Supreme Court is the highest court in the land, and it has declared that workers have the right to participate in politics.
Investigation reveals, however, that as the 2027 election draws closer, civil servants are stuck between aligning with the laws and regulations and obeying the Constitution and risk sanction in their place of work. In Yenagoa, Doris Akumoye, NTA News.
In the build-up to the 2027 general election, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has continued to garner support and endorsement of his re-election bid. Aliyu Tijani reports that a mega rally to mobilize grassroots support for president was held in Akwanga, Nasarawa State.
The rally draws hundreds of party faithfuls, youth groups, women associations, and community leaders from across the state. A demonstration of grassroots ownership with a clear message of continuity, conveyed by the APC governorship aspirant, Zaka Yakubu. The people of Nasarawa State say President Bola Tinubu's economic reforms, though tough at the beginning, are laying the foundation for a long-time national prosperity. Speakers described the removal of fuel subsidy among reforms as bold decisions that ended decades of waste and redirected resources to critical sectors of the economy, but however, tasked governors to use the funds judiciously for the benefit of the masses.
Asiwaju has improved our allocation because today they share up to 2.2 trillion as against the 700 billion we were sharing during Buhari.
Community representative pledged to sustain mobilization efforts across wards and local governments, insisting that continued support for the Tinubu administration will guarantee policy stability and national growth.
The situation we met at hand was not caused by Tinubu. If you remove Tinubu today, the next leadership will face the same thing.
The rally also declared support for the governorship aspiration of Zaka Yakubu in the state ahead of the party primaries. From Akwanga, Aliyu Tijani, NTA News.
The Gade Development Cultural Association has endorsed the second-term bid of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They made this known in Kefi during a political summit to reawaken the political consciousness of the Gade people. Blessing Fulani reports.
This gathering brought together sons and daughters of Gade Nation alongside their traditional and political leaders, irrespective of religion and political affiliation, with one common goal as a people, that is, to change their political narrative for better. Convener of Gade Political Summit, Presidential Liaison Officer to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Ambassador Yakubu Musa says reawakening the political consciousness of the Gade people is the motive behind the summit.
With the caliber of people that we have here, and for the fact that we're speaking as a family, everybody involved will take the message home that we cannot just be political followers. We should be those deciding issues in politics too. So I believe from today, my people are now politically aware, understand that it's good to come together to discuss as a family, and they will go back home. You will see the effects sooner than later.
President General of Gade Development Cultural Association, Gadeka, Barrister Ibrahim Dikko Haske, represented by his vice, as well as traditional and political leaders in their separate goodwill messages, say educating the Gade people on the importance of politics will not only make their voices heard, but will also give them opportunity to contribute in decision-making in the country.
Summit will benefit the Gade people because we have a blueprint of our political roadmap, and the way I'm looking at it, at the end of this summit, we'll be able to identify our problems, and then we'll also look into how this problem can, and once we're able to have solutions to some of these problems.
As a people, we want to see how we can catch up the rest of the people politically. Politically, our people are not vibrant and are not sort of creating the necessary interest that we should as a people. And so those of us who are on front line politically, we need to educate them and tell them the importance of politics.
Was he sleeping in his house and not picking to give him that appointment? There's a contribution you need to establish that and develop interest in giving that appointment. So likewise, you should come across the whole world, local government, state and national level. Our people should participate. When you participate and the person will election, definitely you will give
There were presentations on political participation of Gade people as well as youth and women inclusivity in politics for growth and development of Gade nation. Theme of the summit is Political Life of Gade People, the Way Forward. Blessing Namfulani, NTA News.
Now on education, the United Nations Development Programme UNDP is supporting public universities in Nigeria by building facilities to enhance research and innovation in various sectors of the economy for sustainable development. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa inaugurated the edifice at the Nasarawa State University, Kefi, and tasked universities to prioritize research that will address societal challenges. Aliyu Tijani reports.
Situated at the Nasarawa State University Kefi is the Mining Technology and Resource Innovation Pod, also known as UNIPOD, built and donated to the school by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP. The center is to support young engineers, geoscientists, and entrepreneurs to work with researchers and industry players to develop solutions for Nigeria's mining sector. With more than 40 commercially viable solid minerals in the country, many which are deposited in Nasarawa State, the missing link is the domestic innovation infrastructure to convert the resources into industry capability, trained talent, and scalable enterprise. Hence the establishment of the center.
It is about ensuring that Nigerian universities become active participants in industrial transformation.
Education is now being positioned as a strategic national investment for economic growth, job creation, technological advancement, and global competitiveness.
By having the UNIPOD, Honorable Minister, it gives these youngsters the opportunity now to see what they read every day in practice.
From safer and efficient extraction technologies to mineral processing innovation and start-up enterprise development, the center seeks to capture value at every point in the mining chain.
We are commissioning a future where Nasarawa State University Kefi becomes the intellectual engine room of Nasarawa's mining renaissance.
Education should be about developing the human capital, the human person, to stimulate your creative talent, your innovation, your entrepreneurship.
So far, 7 of these centers have been established across public universities in the country, with each anchored on development priorities of its host region. In Kefi, Aliyu Tijani, NTA News.
For governance in Nigeria to be citizen-driven, proactive business management model to political democracy must be adapted. This came to the fore during the second edition of Faculty of Administration, Nasarawa State University Kefi Staff Seminar Series. Blessing Namfulani reports.
This is the second series of Faculty of Administration, Nasarawa State University Kefi Staff Seminar, which is aimed at enhancing academic performance among staff with the output benefiting wider society. Presenter at the seminar, Professor Ibrahim Yusuf Ohida, who x-rayed the theme, The Symbiotic Effects of Marketing on Political Development in Nigeria, a Business Approach to Politics, Democracy and Good Governance, opines that applying marketing strategies in politics in Nigeria is catalyst to achieving good governance.
Democracy is about the people. Marketing is about the people. And to that extent, they can always go together. What is lacking in our own system is the fact that we are not citizens-driven as far as the philosophy of our political practice is concerned here, which every successful business organization will always apply, and that's why they are succeeding.
And the aim is to see whether if this can actually enhance democracy and good governance.
It is not merely a product or services. It is about influence. It is about perceptions, okay, and a trust in a democratic context. It plays a critical role in shaping political narratives, voters' behaviors, as well as public accountability.
Participants describe the topic as apt, considering the electioneering for elective political positions in few months away.
Having this kind of interaction will place most of these political parties in a better position to be able to, apply this business model to drive the political process in the country.
I'm very happy to know that political parties and candidates are supposed to market themselves to the citizens so that they will have more vote. If you market yourself very well to the citizens, then you will have more trust.
The Faculty of Administration Staff Seminar Series is a monthly academic discourse for staff across all the departments in the faculty. Blessing Namfulani, NTA News.
The Nigerian Police Force says it has recorded a major breakthrough in the fight against violent extremism with the dismantling of a suspected IPOB ACN terrorist enclave in Nguru Abombise local government area of Imo State. The intelligence-led operation was carried out by operatives of the Imo State Police Command following actionable intelligence obtained from a top IPOB ACN commander, Ebube Uchenna Madio Kolam, also known as Ebube Virus. 3 suspects were arrested during the raid and are currently in police custody, assisting investigators with critical information on the group's operations and logistics network. Recovered items include 2 general-purpose machine guns, over 3,000 rounds of GPMG ammunition, 1 AK-47 rifle, a pump-action shotgun, surveillance drones, and Biafra currency in various denominations. Inspector General of Police Olatunji Disu commended the operatives for their courage, professionalism, and tactical precision in the operation. Troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai have combated ISWAP terrorist attack on 120 Task Force Battalion Gonori in the late hours of Saturday, 9th May 2026. In a statement, the Media Information Officer Headquarters Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai, Lieutenant Colonel Sani oversees support from the air component of the theater and the Nigerian Army Aviation synchronized air-land assault that decimated the retreating terrorists. Exploitation of the general area revealed extensive battle damage consistent with scores of terrorist casualties. Several arms and bodies of the invading terrorists were recovered after the operation, while wounded soldiers are stable and receiving medical attention. A 60-year-old man is among 3 persons with disabilities arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, for drug trafficking during interdiction operations in parts of Anambra and Kwara states. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports that as part of its weekly interdiction, the NDLEA also dismantled a Scotches factory.
Based on credible intelligence, the 60-year-old drug dealer was traced to Akpaka Forest, Onitsha, where he was found with 250 grams of skunk in retail sachets. In another part of Anambra State, NDLEA officers arrested another person with disability with cocktail of illicit substances including 160 grams of tramadol, 225 milligrams, 100 milligrams, and 80 pills of diazepam, 38.23 grams of Exol 5, and 176.93 grams of skunk. While in Kwara State, NDLEA operatives on patrol intercepted a commercial vehicle and in the course of a search, one of the passengers, a PWD, was found with 6.3 kilograms of skunk concealed in a brown school bag. Meanwhile, operatives of the NDLEA raided a Lekki, Lagos mansion used as a stash house where 4,000 parcels of loud, a strong strain of imported cannabis weighing 2,326 kilograms with a street value of over 5 billion naira were recovered. Also seized from the house include 2 Mercedes-Benz buses and different designer sachets used in packaging the illicit substance for retail distribution. In an operation at Ijora Badia in Lagos, NDLEA officers raided a makeshift Skushi production factory where 2 suspects were arrested. They were caught in the act of cooking cannabis and mixing some with other illicit substances. A total of 270 liters of already produced Kushis and 106 grams of tramadol, 225 milligrams were recovered from them. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
They often hear the phrase, but you look okay, while their body wage a silent war internally. This is the reality of people living with lupus, an autoimmune disease that is often missed or misdiagnosed, and with less than 30 specialists for Nigeria's population, the oversight is fast becoming a public health crisis. In this special report, Uche Ugochukwu examines the struggle for diagnosis and care, the burden of stigma, and why experts say lupus can no longer remain in the shadows.
When the body's defense system, designed to protect against diseases, suddenly turns against healthy tissues and organs, that condition is known as lupus, an autoimmune disease that attacks every part of the body. Symptoms vary from person to person, often mimicking other common illnesses, making diagnosis difficult and delayed.
The costs for this particular disease most times is the issues around immune modulation. And what do I mean immune modulation? The body is supposed to modulate its own immunity. The thing that links to it essentially, generally, is vitamin D deficiency. But individuals must also have genetic predisposition for this to happen. They're so difficult to treat because you want to reduce the immune response that is now against the body. So you now have to use drugs that decline immunity, reduces the immune system.
For many Nigerians living with lupus, the journey is long, exhausting and expensive. Sharon and Vivian are among countless Nigerians living with lupus.
Most of the symptoms, I had them, but they were diagnosed as malaria, typhoid, and you're mostly constantly in pain and you are fatigued, you get tired easily. So someone looking at me will not know I'm sick. They'll say, madam, why are you sitting and your mother is standing? But you don't understand that what I'm going through, you can't see it.
Life with lupus is unpredictable. If the NHIS and even private HMOs too can even get involved, recognize that lupus is something that needs support.
In Nigeria, the challenge is worse. There are just about 30 trained rheumatologists nationwide.
Education to bridge the knowledge gap, both for the general public as well as the health professionals, and also support framework for those who care for those with lupus. Those are the things I'm asking for.
Experts say lupus can affect anyone at any age and social class, but it is most common in women. They advised, if you are experiencing unexplained fatigue, joint pain, or skin rashes that worsens in sunlight, seek medical attention. Ask about lupus screening. Early detection distress can save lives and prevent irreversible organ damage. As awareness grows, patients and advocates hope lupus will no longer remain a hidden disease, but one that receives the attention, research and healthcare response it urgently deserves. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
That is the size of our bulletin tonight, but before we go, a quick recap of our major stories. We reported to you that the Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has arrived Nairobi, Kenya, for Africa-France Summit 2026. The president landed in the Kenyan capital at about 12:15 this Monday morning. You also heard that the United Nations Development Programme has inaugurated an edifice at the Nasarawa State University, KEFI, to enhance research and innovation in various sectors of the economy for sustainable development. Thank you very much for watching our news tonight. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Good evening.